Welcome back to the Daily Wrap. The uproar about Planned Parenthood is not going away anytime soon. House Republicans are outraged by undercover videos that show Planned Parenthood employees discussing manipulating fetal bodies for parts and then negotiating for the sale of those parts. Some Republicans are pushing to cut federal funds from Planned Parenthood altogether. They want a bill to defund the organization for 1 year while these videos are being investigated. However, Speaker John Boehner is saying they need to get all of the facts first.
I want the committees to do their investigation. I want them to do their hearings. And once they have them, we'll decide what's the proper course of action. I could talk about the video, but I think I'd vomit trying to talk about it. It's disgusting.
So if the video is going to make him vomit, why do you think he needs more investigation before he'll defund Planned Parenthood altogether, Rick?
You know, it's so offensively political. In the Senate, McConnell is introducing the same bill into the Senate. Never mind, he voted for the law that made this possible. There was a time during the Reagan administration when there was a moratorium placed on using fetal tissue for stem cell research. He voted to lift the moratorium, and yet suddenly now he's against it.
But Rick, I don't think anyone anticipated what we saw in those videos. You know, the use of the fetal tissues is one thing, but negotiating over body parts and talking about, and we've discussed this before, there are laws being broken when they are manipulating the body parts.
Let's separate something here. Number one, there was nothing in those videos, and I've watched them, the entire one when it was available, what was made available, the second one heavily edited. I've watched them. Never does it appear in any way, shape, or form that they're negotiating to make a profit. So I don't buy that. I'll tell you where I have agreed that there is some culpability. In the first video, not the second, but in the first video, there is discussion about manipulating the body to, to make the parts. Yeah, that is problematic from a legal point of view.
It's illegal.
It is.
It's illegal. It violates federal law.
They're doing
and it is a major problem. But let's talk about the funding part. Some of the Republican candidates have spoken out. The funding part.
They're always going after the funding for Planned Parenthood. What's new about that?
Well, but if you're talking about definite illegality, Jonathan, don't you think that if there's definite illegality that they should be cutting the funding until they figure all of this out rather than continuing to fund while they do the investigation, which we see takes forever?
Well, you're attorneys. So if you committed malpractice against somebody, are you going to continue to be able to practice while the court says you just committed this malpractice?
Yes. Well, because malpractice is a civil distinction. If you are, if your license is under,
if you injured somebody, or if a doctor injured somebody and they literally killed somebody, and they did something criminal, like the doctor was giving people fake cancer stuff when they really didn't have cancer.
Their license is
as
revoked,
soon as they find out that that's going on, a criminal investigation starts. I don't think that they can continue to practice.
No, it's not that clear. Let's be clear about what it is. If something happens in medical, legal, whatever, the state bar, if it's a legal situation, can investigate. The state bar can suspend. They can pull your license.
But if a criminal
but no, filing a criminal investigation prior to conviction does nothing. No. This is still America, folks.
Let's be clear about what this is, right? I mean, we still have a big debate in our country about abortion, right? And some people, it's a minority, but they feel very, very strongly about it. They're really very adamant.
I don't think it's
nothing should be connected to abortion is permitted, right?
Yeah.
Most people don't agree with that. The majority of Americans support legalized abortion. Frankly, as long as we're going to have abortions, aren't we better off in using the waste from the abortions for life-saving research, for stem cells, to help other people?
But you can't break the law.
I mean, why is that?
First of all,
why is that even? Well, it's medical. It's a medical.
It's part of fetal tissue, babies. But.
Oh, I understand. You don't. I mean, some people really think that abortion is wrong. Now, the law doesn't agree with that. The majority of Americans think that's the woman's right to choose. But the adamant abortion opponents don't want anything to do with abortion, so they're using this as an excuse to clobber Rick, just as you were saying, to clobber Planned Parenthood, who they've tried to defund for years and years.
What I worry about.
What
I worry about, I'm not the world's biggest abortion fan at all. I am respectful of pro-choice. It's not my call, it's your call. But Planned Parenthood, as much as people don't like to say it, does a lot of great work for women's health, having nothing to do
Amazing
with
stuff.
abortion.
Great
You
stuff.
start suspending their money, a lot of women in this country are going to have absolutely nowhere to go to get health care.
So let me say this one thing, and I don't know what camera I'm in here, but if you can even see this. But see, I was going to have liar, but hashtag liars. Hi. Okay, there you go. Because the reality is, our politicians are not leaders; they're liars. They're not doing their job
But
to
here's the thing,
lead and
Jonathan.
figure this
When
out.
it comes
I
to
love
the-
Jonathan's visual
When you
aids.
start talking about the politicians, you've got Scott Walker, who passed the 20-week
he did.
abortion bill. You've got Ben Carson, who's going on Tuesday to a protest against this.
They're all
Carly
anti-abortion.
Fiorina talking
Yeah.
up.
All the
So do you
candidates
think
on the
this is going to be
Republican
the
side.
2016 issue?
No.
No,
I
because the
hope
majority
not.
didn't want it.
All right, we want to hear from you about this Planned Parenthood scandal. Do you think it should be defunded? Weigh in at newsmaxtv.com. Weigh in at newsmaxtv.com/comments. Let us know whether you think Planned Parenthood should be defunded, whether you think that there should be an investigation, and what you think of the candidates' views. We'll see you in just a minute for Potluck.